Welcome back to the Pokemon Review Marathon. We're finally out of Gen 2. Ignore the fact that the previous movie was Gen 3 Pokemon. And we're into the Gen 3 movies.
Yay! Generations.
So pretty much the major difference is Misty's gone, replaced by Man Max.
Yep.
So yeah, Jirachi Wishmaker. I remembered there being a jumping quality for the Hoenn movies. I didn't expect it to be this quick.
This is a good movie. This is good.
I remember the Hoenn movie. This is the Hoenn movie that I watched the least. I knew the Hoenn movies were good. There were two of them that I didn't remember watching that much, which was this one and the Manaphy one. This one's actually way better than I remember it being.
Yeah.
Mostly because I was probably a young kid and didn't like the slow intro that it has.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where it's like, get to the villain in the monster! Probably just maturity.
Yeah. So, where shall we begin with our discussion?
Here's the thing that I actually want to ask you, as a person who's watching through these. Thoughts on Man Max?
I mean, this is my first time seeing May and Max.
Well, technically, we watched the Deoxys one a few years back, but you know, that was only once.
Yeah. I don't remember it at all.
Okay,
so.
yeah.
But yeah, I like them. I don't. I think they're. It's hard to say because I don't feel like I got. I don't feel like I got a whole lot of what would be their usual dynamic in this movie. And I'm not sure I would like their usual dynamic that much. I think what I got of what would probably be their usual dynamic, they're probably somewhere between Misty and Brock for me. They're all right.
Yeah. That's pretty much where most people go. With the two. This is pretty much Max's only really time in the spotlight.
And I will say, with him being one of the main characters of this movie, I loved him in this movie. I really like his character in this movie.
Yeah. And it's also one of the only times where Max is fully in the spotlight, because, you know, this is the Pokemon anime. Max is the odd one out because he's not a Pokemon trainer yet.
See. Yeah, I like Max a lot, actually. Like, his dynamic with Jirachi is... They're both so adorable. Oh my gosh. Look at them. They're so happy together.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, it's one of the parts that I remember hating. I really like the Max and Jirachi dynamic in this.
I will say, like, one thing I think the moment where I really realized how good this movie is was, like, I think it was the moment where May is, like, counting. Like, she's doing one of the times where she's, like, counting the number of days with her wish thing, whatever.
Yeah, the wish thing.
The star, whatever thing. That thing. And she's like, just 2 days left, and Max immediately gets upset. I'm like, that's I've barely seen that, like, that level of depth of character, like the amount, like, it's not like an incredibly deep character moment, but it's a lot more than I expected from a Pokemon movie, from what we had so far, from what we've seen so far. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, like, I think that's, like, probably one of the things that I think is probably the single strongest point with this movie. I think this movie probably has the best character writing out of any of the movies we've seen so far. Like, I think they did the characters really well in this movie.
If you're thinking this is great, I can't wait for some of the later ones.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest, with most people who've seen this movie, we're just waiting to get to the Lucario one at this point.
But yeah, like, May wasn't like a super important character. She had some interesting moments. There was like an interesting. I think she had like the scene when she was talking with
Diane.
You think I remember her name? She has the same name as my mom. that was like a pretty cool. I mean, honestly, that's probably more of a Diane moment, but
yeah.
But like that's another thing. Like, honestly, like I think like Diane was like a surprisingly interesting character, but a lot more than like she's like, oh yeah, I'm the person who's with the villain character.
Yeah, I gotta say,
like that did pull it off really well. Actually,
this movie actually does the villains pretty interesting way.
Yeah, I think
it's they're the main focal point to getting the movie on track. They're not the major antagonist or any, like they're not like the major threat after a while. But unlike Lawrence III, they actually work.
Yeah, I think the one criticism I think I would have is that Butler's like initial motivation I think it's not terrible, but I do think it's a little weak. But I think
him wanting to revive Groudon because Magma said I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I think that's a little weak, but honestly, it's kind of, like in that way it kind of puts him on par. Like, in that aspect, he's, like, on par with other Pokemon villains, and then every other way, he's leagues ahead, so...
Yeah.
Except Mewtwo. Mewtwo is just... Mewtwo is the king.
He got an edgy scarf in this one, randomly. In one of the flashbacks.
Randomly, like, here's Mewtwo, he has a scarf now! Moving on!
Yeah, it's weird how they actually flash back to every movie at the beginning of this one.
Wasn't there like another Pokemon that just showed up in that section that they didn't even have a movie about?
Oh yeah, Kyogre.
It's just like, yeah, Kyogre's here too!
And it's like, where was yours? Groudon gets his movie, why don't I? I gotta have second dibs with Manaphy. If even that, I'm only there for like 2 minutes. Or I'm not even counting as a legendary, I'm just counting as a rare Pokemon in that one.
Yeah, and now I'm like, so Ash kind of takes a back seat in this movie, honestly. He doesn't do much.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty much the Max movie.
This is the Max movie. It's like the Max movie, and then May takes a bit more of a spotlight because they're siblings.
Yeah.
And then Ash kind of becomes one of the background, one of the friends who's just there.
Yeah.
Brock is still also just there.
Brock's just Brock.
Brock is just Brock.
Brock's there to point out the blatantly obvious.
And
they got Diane! Yes, Brock, we noticed.
He's there to point out the obvious and flirt with all the women. That is your purpose for being Brock.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about all the, well...
That's the weird thing with this movie, where the best parts of it are the relationships between two characters, two certain characters.
Yeah.
Kind of odd for a Pokemon movie, but it works somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we both said that this beats out This easily beats out Jirachi, Celebi, and Heroes.
Yeah. No contest. It's not even close with those ones, I think.
So, between first movie returns in 2000 for you?
I think this one beats out 2000. Not by a whole lot, but I think it's... Like, it's enough that I'm pretty confident in saying that, but I don't think it beats it out by a whole lot.
Yeah, I'd say the same, honestly, even though I'm a huge thing for 2000.
Because I think like 2000 has like one of the best scenes in any of the movies we've seen so far, and otherwise it was alright. This movie, I think, is just very solid all the way through, and I would probably put that a bit higher.
Yeah, I'd say that. Soundtrack?
The soundtrack is really good.
Yeah, even the 4Kids edition, it is not honestly that bad.
And they were even like, well, we have a different credits song. Let's change the lullaby in the movie to match the credits song. I'm like, good job, you did it.
They actually thought of that.
Attention to detail.
The fact that I'm surprised 4Kids does that says a lot about this company. Animation's solid enough. The Groudon thing isn't really that menacing.
Yeah,
Groudon thing's just kind of there.
I think it's pretty par for the course for Pokemon.
I do kind of like how it's like an abomination Groudon.
Yeah.
Instead of like actual Groudon, because that would have been kind of out of nowhere to face.
By the way, can we just mention that this random Flygon just randomly shows up and is like, don't worry guys, I got you covered. And just like, he's probably like, he's like literally just like one of the biggest MVPs of the climax of the movie.
Hell yeah, Flygon's awesome!
And it's just some random Flygon that just showed up.
Yeah, Flygon's awesome!
I mean, yes, he is awesome. But he's just this random wild Flygon that showed up.
Yeah, I love Flygons. I'm happy to see them represented in this. I'm just happy to see my boy represented.
I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just like, it's just kind of random that this random wild Pokemon ends up being one of the most, so does the Absol. Still, the Rapsol was there for the whole movie, so feels a little different.
I mean, the Flygon's there for like the last 20 to 30 minutes.
Like, the Flygon shows up one time for like 5 seconds before the climax, and then he's like, "Hi guys, I'm here to be more important to the success of our plan than freaking Ash, the main character."
But we have Ash riding on Flygon.
So?
And also, Ash catches this tiny little piece of Groudon. Because not only does he have the super strength, but he also has super sight.
Yeah, but Flygon put him in the proper position to be able to catch it.
Oh wait, we forgot certain characters. Team Rocket was here.
Team Rocket was here.
They're not as bullied as they were in Heroes.
Yeah, they just kind of, well, they tried to capture Pikachu, and then they failed to capture Pikachu.
And then they're planning to catch Jirachi, but, you know, all that crap happens.
They're planning to catch Jirachi, and then they get swallowed by Groudon. Cool. Mm-hmm. They're pretty funny in this movie. I'd say there's they're
nowhere close to Mewtwo Returns levels.
Yeah, it's like their average is like a 6. This movie's like a 7.5, and then Mewtwo Returns is like a 9.
Yeah.
Jirachi's so freaking adorable in this movie. Oh my god.
It's the small pseudo-legendary. Of course it's adorable. They pretty much perfected this at this point. They have Mew and Celebi before this. They know what they're doing with these Pokemon. Anything else you want to say on Jirachi Wishmaker? There's not that many wishes.
Yeah.
It's just, like, the only power we really see Jirachi have is Comet Laser and Teleportation.
I will say it is also a little strange that they spend as much time as they do focusing on May, like, counting down the days and be like, I gotta fulfill my wish! And then we literally don't find out what her wish was, and she doesn't get it in the end. It's just kind of like...
A new bike.
Like, sure, okay. Do we really need to spend like 3 minutes of the, like 3 or 4 minutes of the movie's runtime on just this one point?
I mean, it's a good way to show the time progression of the movie.
Yeah, but they could do that with... They spend like 30 seconds on it for every single night. Is mostly my point. It's not the fact that they do it every single night, but the fact that they spend as much time as they do every single night. It's just a little strange.
The festival intro did take a pretty long time, though, to get through.
Yeah, but I never felt like it was...
Yeah, it didn't overstay its welcome, really, but it's just kind of odd. Especially with some of the other Pokemon movies where Pikachu was like, hurry the hell up, what? Come on, Ash, we got things to do! Parents want to go home!
But yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah. I liked.
Best Pokemon movie without Mewtwo. For more than 3 seconds.
Mewtwo did show up. Jirachi ranks 3rd.
Gosh,
so what you're saying is how long Mewtwo's in the movie is how long it ranks.
There's a straight... correlation is not causation, my friend. I will not deny the correlation, but that is not causation.
How much screen time does Mewtwo get? That's how much the movie gets. That's where the movie goes.
Well, by that definition, it would basically be like the first movie and Mewtwo Returns are incredible. This movie is aggressively mediocre, and all the other ones are hot garbage.
Yeah, currently the only hot garbage one is free. I'm joking, free fans. It's not that bad. It's just very definitively bottom of the list. Where it's like this. What did this feel like an Entei movie? No. It failed its reasoning.
I still feel a little torn on Pokemon Movie 3 because I'm like, I really like what it was trying to do. But it didn't do it very well.
And it also was not an Entei movie, which was what all the marketing focused on, which was Entei.
Yeah.
And it's not even an Entei.
Yeah.
That could be literally any legendary. We could have given Raikou time in the spotlight, the poor thing. It only gets a special episode in the anime. Where it's not even Ash. So yeah, next is Destiny Deoxys. Deoxys is my favorite Pokemon. I'm not gonna be biased at all. See you guys next time. Take care.